All right, let's do this. Uno más, Jose, uno más. Dude, I'm just about to do uno más. Uno más, Jose, uno más. There we go. What's up, beautiful people of the Grams? So glad you come back. Thank you so much, Rudy. All right, let's do this.
When's the last day of Hanukkah?
Monday night. Then I'll be home by.
Look at that.
Is there something that's done special on the last night?
No, we usually just have like a nice meal. I think there might be service. I'm not sure. But I think Ezra's planning on setting up a menu for Monday night. Yeah. And then my mom will come over. I can't believe this year's almost over.
I really feel bad. Well, maybe that's a good thing since like the pandemic felt like everything dragged on.
Yeah, 2020 was like a million years.
It was long and short all the same. I feel like I aged a lot.
Especially like in the middle when we all were just, we didn't go anywhere, we just stayed in the house.
Chewy and I were like that. We would drive back and forth from here. It wasn't fun though when the cops had everything together too. One time they didn't even let us get to our house. They told us we had to go all the way around.
All right. Look at that. Boom. Painting some little flowers, you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna leave a little bit early so I can stop and get wax paper, and then I'm gonna go get Daniel.
I'm,
You have to, you're gonna take your lunch too, right?
yeah, I'm gonna leave in a little bit so I can go check on the dogs. 'Cause, 22nd Street and Broadway is so congested.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaving like a little bit early, because I don't wanna deal with the coming back traffic. The 3 p.m. I'm gonna go get,
Dan?
yeah, but I need to get wax paper, and I'm gonna drop off this cheque with, what's her name?
Okay, Mika. Thank you,
I'll
Mika.
be back.
Alright,
Okay.
drive safe.
Be safe too much time.
Thank you.
Oh, the number of the brush is a number 10. Which fantastic. Thank you so much, my friend. All right. Boom, 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 boom. What's happening, Artsy? Thank you so much, Esther. Something like that. In the zone, yep. Someone. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened, Esther. Boom. Yeah, man, no. No bueno. Muchas gracias, Claudia. Use the J to make the T. No, it's just the T is just like a 7. So I do it sort of like an F. Like if it was gonna be, like the guitar Fender, I do it like that, but it's a T. All right, let's do one more. Uno más, you guys. Uno más. Uno más. Just like that. Thank you so much, Kathy.
I'm gonna go on my lunch break and check on dogs. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Dude, I make it super easy. I make it super easy. Look at that. So no wonder why Vivek's always ripping off my paintings, making them look super easy. Look at that. Boom, baby. Put a little bit of. Look at that. There we go. Beautiful. Man, I was talking about all kinds of weird stuff earlier. Then we were talking about NFTs and whatnot. I gotta take off this jacket, man. It's hot. José Trujillo es mucho hot, mucho caliente. Mucho caliente, baby. Look at that. Yeah, I didn't know La Cucaracha was a Christmas song. Christmas jam. Probably, huh? The ice cream truck is like doing all kinds of fun songs. Muchas gracias, Claudia. Muchas gracias. Dude, Sonic, what, dude? Fucking loco ese. Look at that. Boom. Consider yourself wave that. Look at that. Perrito enfadoso. No puede escuchar nada porque empieza a ladrar. All right, let's see. Let's make another one, but before we make another one, let's clean this palette. That way we can mix some paint or something. Or something. Let's do this. Look. Right here. Let's get a yellow. Un yellow. Let's get un yellow. There we go. And do that. Add a little bit of walnut oil. Ooh la la, comme ci comme ça, mucho très bien. Let's see if you guys can see this. There we go. Boom. Just like that. Let's get some blue in there. Sí. Hola, Milady, ¿cómo estás? Look at that. All right. Uno más, you guys. Uno más. Let's go do uno más. ¿Qué azul sería? Es un azul. Es azul Thalo. No sé cómo se llama en español. A ver, Thalo azul, ¿qué sería? Sí, azul talo. Le llaman igual en español. Azul talo. Un azul muy bonito, muy fuerte. Muy coquetón. Es un azul muy coqueto. Alright, let's do one more. Uno más. Uno más. Uno más. Ay, Dios mío, qué perro tan enfadoso. Merece estar en la azotea como mi perro allá en México. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. You know what? I gotta give me a second, okay? I gotta pick up a box. Okay, Sonny. Sorry about that, guys. Lord have mercy. This dog is crazy. This dog is mucho loco. All right, let's continue with this. I apologize for that. Oh man. Just because I'm the only one in the studio, guys. There's no one else in the studio. And so when I'm the only one here, well, you could imagine when I'm the only one here. If this dog lived with me in Mexico, he would be spending a lot of time on the roof. Kicking it out there. Chasing birds on the roof. Oh my god, now he's sneezing over there. Dude, what's going on? You get too excited, homie. Go lay down a little bit. Sit down. Dude, you're getting old. Stop it with that running. Damn dog, man. Oh my god. But it's a nonsense, Sonic. Yeah, right. Let me. Oh my god. Dude, why are you coughing? Dude, what's wrong with you? Oh, que la madre, cabrón. Out of control, Sonic. You're out of control, dude. Here. It's like having a little kid, I swear. Lord have mercy. What type of colors are you using? I am using oils. I'm using oil paint. Oleo. I'm like, oh no, Dios mío. Mucho loco. Look at that. Yeah, no, I I am using sienna. I don't have burnt sienna, but I am making a mixture of my own burnt sienna. Um, but yeah, look at that. Look at that. I got Bivik here. What's up, Bivik? Look at that. Bivik came to take some notes here too. So Bivik takes lots of notes. Came back for some more inspiration, huh, Bivik? Let's see. Dude, where's Sonic? You okay now, buddy? Look at that. It's been a while for what, Vivek? It's been a while you haven't seen me? I doubt that. I doubt that, Vivek. Let me clean out my palette a little bit. I love that. Taking some notes. If that's what you want to do, you want to take some notes. Taking notes is where it's at, my friends. Inspiration is where it's at. You want to be inspired. I'm always looking to be inspired. I'm always paying attention. Where can I get inspired? Where can I get inspired? How can I get inspired? Inspiration is important. Huh, that's what I'm saying, Esther. Look at that. So this brown, take some notes, Vivek. Look, I know you take notes. So this brown is black, red, purple, and a little bit of yellow. So it's a dance between brown and burnt sienna. Look at that. What's happening, Diana? Look at this, you guys. Hey, so earlier I was talking shit about what was it? The Art Institute. and then I caught myself thinking about the Leonardo da Vinci painting. And then because I've been watching that show. I've been watching that show. What is it called? It's not a show. It's a documentary on Leonardo da Vinci's. What is it called? Salvator Mundi. Finally got to the canvas. Nice. I love that. That's right. Yeah, I was watching that Salvatore Mundi. I don't know if it's on Netflix or whatnot. My wife put it on, and I was just so tired I couldn't finish watching it. Maybe today we'll finish it. Maybe we'll get it done today. Hey, Diana, how does it feel to get back to the canvas? It takes a while sometimes, huh? Yeah, documentaries are super fun. Yeah, I miss it. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm like, for example, works on paper. Sometimes I miss them because I'll go a day or two sometimes without touching paper, and and I miss it. When I get to it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, finally. All right, well, here's another painting, you guys. Here's another painting. Uno más. Uno más. All right, let me move this camera. Hold on, hold on. Let me leave it there so that in case Vivek needs to take notes. Ah, Vivek. Oh my God. All right, guys. Let me paint another one. I got an idea for a still life. Very simple stuff too. Very, very simple stuff. So yeah, I was watching this what do they call it? Documentary, I guess. On supposedly Da Vinci's Mondo, what is it called? Mondo Christi, Christi Mondi, something like that. And when I first saw it, I knew it wasn't it, man. Something told, experience tells you things. Experience tells you things. Experience tells you when something's a fake. Experience tells you it's a fake. Salvador Mundi, there you go. And I saw it and I knew it. You can always tell when a work is a fake. If you don't have to be an expert, by the way. You don't have to be an expert to tell to be able to tell. All you got to do is just pay attention. I guess maybe that will make you an expert. I don't know. That's the thing about oil paint. It doesn't. Or personal style. That's another thing about personal style. It doesn't lie. Other people who don't know may think, right? Oh no, this is. But anyone who's watched Da Vinci's work, anyone who's paid attention, knows that Da Vinci would have never painted those hands like that. In the in the Salvator Mundi. He would never have painted those hands like that. That's the work of someone else, not Da Vinci, because Da Vinci didn't overcompensate with with hyperrealism. That's a washed up hyperrealistic hand. What Da Vinci would have done is he would have blurred everything. They try to do that. They try to blur everything, but first they did it hyperrealistic and then they blurred it. You can tell that in that painting. I think what Da Vinci would have done is that Da Vinci would have done his modus operandi, which was glaze after glaze after glaze, and through the glazes he would have created that sense of reality, as opposed to painting something and as realistic as you possibly can from that time period, and then they began washing it off and washing it and then paint again and washing it and washing it, which is a very common practice of forgeries. Forgery painters do that. They paint it and then they wash it off. I hope I don't piss off the institutions if they ever listen to me. The institutions. You mean Da Vinci isn't Da Vinci? I don't think that Salvator Mundi belongs to Da Vinci. I thought I was the only one. When I saw the painting the first time, I thought it was. I personally thought I was the only one. You know, my big head told me that. Right? I'm like, dude, how can nobody else see this? That is not a Da Vinci. And then I saw a documentary. Well, I haven't finished it, but I was watching the documentary, and then it turns out that I'm not the only one. There's a whole other group of collectors and conservators and I don't know, authorities in the art world that not only do they say it's not true, they start laughing. Which, you know, laughter is one of those things that laughter is just one of those things. Yeah, he was all about those layers. He invented that thing. They would call it a sfumato, or people call it a sfumato. Smokiness, right? Very thin glazes. How did they layer oils that never dries? No, it does dry. It does dry. So yeah, anyways, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows how that happened? But it did. It did happen. Well, it clearly shows that the person that was supposed to do the restoration, it was more than a restoration. That was a repainting of the picture. And then she goes on to say that it could not be true because she doesn't paint like Da Vinci, and so so that even made me laugh. Because she goes on to say it could not have been a copy because I don't paint like Da Vinci. But the entire painting, you can tell that the entire painting, I would say a good 70% of the painting is restoration. So we'll call it artistic license, restoration license. But anyways, it was funny because for those of you who haven't watched the documentary, I don't want to spoil it, but it's interesting because she said she got paid. Of course, they didn't ask, right? Because only Americans, only we're the ones who ask about money. The rest of the world considers it not crass, or I don't know what words to use for that. But she says she got paid. Um, I forgot the word she used, which I think is great. I mean, I'm not against it, man. If people want to, the thing is that I feel like they want to. I mean, they want to pass it as a Da Vinci, and I get it that they're trying to do their own business, but they want to tell all of us that's a Da Vinci, and some of us are not art restorers, some of us are not art preparers, museum preparers, as Jeff Koons likes to call himself. He said he was a museum preparer. Some of us are just artists, or we're just art lovers, and we look at stuff, right? It's kind of like we just look at stuff, and many of us apparently, I realize there's no way that thing is a Da Vinci, but they're convinced it is. So who knows? Who knows? That's the thing about copies, forgeries, all those things, is that it doesn't matter as long as you stick to your story, you're fine. As long as if you stick to your story, you're gonna be fine. And so that's part of the thing. Can't do anything about that. Look at that. So yeah, I was talking about the art institutions and how they do all kinds of weird stuff, man. They do. I don't mind. I think nobody does. Maybe some people do, but I think most people don't mind that they're doing something. At the very least, we don't care. Maybe we mind, but we don't get into it. We don't care. We're like, well, it's not my life. It's not my ass on the line. But I think that where the art world gets a little bit upset is, or the people, right? Us, of the art world. Not the authorities, but the people. Where we get a little bit upset about it is when they try to tell us a narrative that we just don't buy. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it sold for 450 milli. It's such an interesting thing. It is such an interesting thing. But, it is what it is. I'm always skeptical when a painting comes out as lost painting, right? I know. Yeah, me too. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean it was lost? And then it turned out to be this Da Vinci painting that was lost. this is what I love about that whole world. That whole world is very interesting. So the Da Vinci was lost, and somehow it ended up in New Orleans. Somehow, from being lost in, I don't know, Italy or wherever it was housed, it got found in New Orleans in an auction house, sold for like $1,000 or something like that. And I'm like, whoa. But it got bought and sold a few times. So I think as they got resold, the story got told again and again. You know? Yeah. How's it going, Alicia? Yeah, I think the story because it got resold, the story got retold over and over. And so whoever was buying it for more was I think as they kept buying it for more, they kept convincing themselves. I think this is real. So in my mind, I'm thinking whoever sold it after they sold it for $60,000 or $80,000, the first time they sold it for much more, whoever sold it for that should have kept it if they were convinced that it was a very important piece. But then they run the story by saying that that the only reason they sold it is because they thought it was an important piece from that time period, but that it was a protege of Da Vinci, or or a Da Vinci copycat, or one of his students from his studio, and so but nevertheless it was from that time, right? Nevertheless, it was from that time, because that's a thing with artists. Like if artists are somewhat famous, then you have like every artist throughout time has like has a whole school of artists who are copying his work. Not what do they call it? Not by choice. It's not like they're looking for copycats, but that's how it works, right? It's always worked that way. And so Da Vinci had a bunch of people, who were trying to mimic his style and trying to paint like him, naturally, right? And so people thought maybe it's from that time period. Maybe yeah. Maybe it's from that time period. Maybe it's it was one of the artists that was trying to be, was trying to echo Da Vinci or something, and so that's what's interesting. Notice the difference. They thought it was an artist that was trying to echo Da Vinci, and it sold for $1,000. Okay, and then or a student or someone who was trying to echo his work sold for $1,000. I don't know what, 500 years later, and then they find out supposedly that it's a Da Vinci, and then it goes for 450 million. Look at the difference in name brand. I thought about that last night. I was like, damn, man. That happened to a Rubens too. I don't know if you guys follow this stuff, but from time to time I like to follow it. It happened to a Rubens. They thought it was one of his students, because Rubens had students in his people that worked for him, right? They called them students, but they weren't really students. They were his interns, his workers. And then they would work for them for free to learn. And then once they learned, they would give them a job after that First, they would work for free so that they would learn. Once they learned, they would if they were any good, they were offered a job in the studio. And so they found out that this Peter Paul Rubens, they used to think that it was one of the students that worked for him in his atelier. And then they found out it was a real Rubens, and then the price just skyrocketed. It was just like a ridiculous thing. I think a Russian oligarch ended up buying it, which never surprises me when Russian oligarchs buy the paintings, because that's really where a lot of the main paintings go. Yeah, it's just, I'm not making this up, by the way. This is just the way it is. A lot of money in with Russian oligarchs. Lots of money. I mean, that's kind of my dream, to go to Art Basel and then meet one of them. Well, meet one of them that actually likes my work, right? It's like, man, I love your work. Like, damn right you do. But yeah, no, that's the thing. And so it was interesting to see that. It was interesting to see the work is from a copy of a student or a copycat or whatever, an echo of the artist. And then it sells for nothing, right? After like 500 years later. And the work from the artist, boom, it just skyrockets. So they know that, right? The institutions know that. I think that painting was fabricated. That's where my hunch goes. That painting was fabricated. I know this is all news. I know a lot of people have been looking at that and whatnot. But I really do believe that painting was fabricated. Why was it fabricated? I don't know. I mean, I clearly know that it's the money, but it wasn't one person who got their hands in there. It's a whole bunch of people who got their hands in there. The National Gallery, what is it? The National Gallery in London, right? Is the one who houses it, or housed it, prior to it being sold at auction. And yeah, it's just interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know, you guys. What do you guys think? I want to hear what you guys think, because I say a lot of stuff, but it doesn't mean that I'm right. I want to know what other people think. What do you guys think? I like to see your guys' input on this. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it real, but maybe it's overworked by someone else, by the restorer or by a student? Has the painting gone through different hands? That could be it too. Maybe the painting has gone through different hands. Meaning that maybe a student worked on it, and then Da Vinci worked on it, and then another student worked on it, and then it just got thrown off, and then the restorer worked on it again. So now you have 4 hands pass through that painting. An initial student, and then Da Vinci got his hands in there, and then a paid intern of Da Vinci's, which I don't buy it, because I don't think Da Vinci had paid interns. Even though people try to say that he did, but I don't, because he wasn't into the whole school thing. Give me a second, guys. So I don't know. Let me see. Diana says, I think you have so many copycats that soon your real paintings are gonna sell for millions. I'm looking forward to it. That's why I don't really begrudge any of my copycats. I'm like, be fruitful and multiply. Let's see. Esther says, I saw it, but it's a pale piece of work compared to the others displayed at the National Gallery here. Nice. I'm sure he had a few assistants. My favorite story is what he did at the Sistine Chapel. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he had a few assistants here and there. But I don't see Da Vinci. I think he had assistants for the other stuff, not for the paintings. For the other stuff, for the maquettes that he would do for architecture, for for big stuff, for big project. But I don't. I see Da Vinci more being as a scientist who happened to be a painter. You know, scientist, engineer type of person that happened to be a painter than a painter who also dabbled in other areas. I think that Da Vinci dabbled in painting. That's what I think. And dabbled is a bold word, right? Of course, he did more than dabble, but I think painting wasn't his well, I don't think, I know it wasn't his main occupation. It was definitely a passion. I wouldn't consider him being a painter who painted as a hobby either. No, because he was pursuing that career. We have history that he was pursuing that career, but he had the luxury to let them go and to stop production. He had a lot of that luxury, and I think he had that luxury because that wasn't how he made his money. You know, he was an engineer. He was an engineer, and look at that bass. Look at that bass. It's ridiculous. You guys are forgetting who? Verrocchio? No, we're not forgetting. We're not forgetting any of the daddies of the Renaissance. We're not gonna include Michelangelo into this. We're not gonna include we're choosing not to. We're talking about Da Vinci. We're not gonna include Michelangelo. We're not gonna include Giotto, Raphael, and the other Ninja Turtle. What's his name? Donatello. We're not gonna include them right now, even though they did great stuff. I think the best muralist by far was not Michelangelo. It was Giotto. I think it was Giotto, personally. But Michelangelo did happen to do some ridiculous great work. Just ridiculous, amazing work. But that wasn't his forte, right? That wasn't his main thing. His main thing was sculpture. Look at this base, isolated from the world, man. Yeah. See, so here's the thing, right? That Da Vinci was testing with paint, and so that gives me a sense that that dude was not fully a painter. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with testing, but if he was testing, that means that he wasn't. If he was testing so much, because he tested a lot with paint, that means that he wasn't finishing the work. And we have stories that he didn't finish the work. We know he didn't finish the work. We know he didn't. Man, I should really go back and pay attention to that because I think look, that Salvatore Mundi, Salvatore, what is it, Salvatore or Salvatore Mundi painting of the Christ with the glass. Well, he was doing this in one. He was doing like a Yoda thing, or Jedi, and then holding glass on the other one. That's those hands were just not Da Vinci's. That thing eats me up, man. Because I looked at those hands and I was like, dude, those are not Da Vinci's hands. That's not how Da Vinci painted hands. And then the clothing, that's not what Da Vinci did either. Da Vinci didn't go into high detail in embroidery. That wasn't his deal. Not like that, not the way it's showed there in the color of the artist. Da Vinci did do high detail, but it was always smoky. The high detail was smoky, so it was sort of like Vermeeresque. I'm gonna call it Vermeeresque. Like Vermeer did high detail, but Vermeer's detail looked faded. Like you take a photograph in a professional photography, how the background is very luminescent and faded, because of the whole camera obscura or camera lucida thing. It has a very cool drink in it. I'm hoping it's got either some really cold water, or it's the sfumato, exactly. The sfumato thin layers of glaze. That's all it really was. Thin layers of glaze. Very little pigment, lots of glaze. I mean, the dude practically invented that, right? The whole sfumato thing. Look at that. Ooh la la. So this kind of doesn't make any sense. This base is kind of just kicking it here. But there's nothing added to it. There's no... typical artist thing where you put a fruit here or a bird over here, or all that typical stuff, right? I normally do it. I try to do it in my style, right? But I normally do that. But lately I haven't been into it. Look at that. I've not been inspired to the typical stuff lately. Look at you. You do know your history, Tiago. That is right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Italy was the world of the crafters, right? As a matter of fact, they never called it high art until like much later. They didn't even look at it as art. They looked at it as craft. Because remember, I think glass comes out of Italy, no? I think it comes out of Sicily. Glass and I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you try to escape Sicily, they would, like, back in the day, or maybe they didn't have guns, maybe they off with your head, because they wanted to keep the recipe there, right? Because that's how they control trade. If someone else was making glass, well, they couldn't have copycats all around the world. They have to keep it in there. Precioso, muchas gracias. Taking a PhD in art education. There you go. Love that. Esther, I'm the same way. I would never make it as an art teacher. I'd be saying something else, as I always do. I'd be telling people things like I don't know, like, Da Vinci, the one who painted the water lilies. I'd be telling people stuff like that. Glass is widespread. Egypt had glass already. There you have it. So why was it so important that it stayed in Sicily, though? Was it the way that they did it? Was it stained glass? Or what was it that was so important? Because I remember that it was very important. So, like, glass is old, right? Like, people, it's I feel like it's like a kind of like the myths that they make up about what do they call it? About spirits, right? About alcohol, that a lightning struck a. In Mexico, they have that theory, that myth, not a theory, a myth. That a lightning struck an agave plant, and that's how we got tequila. But glass is something that right, lightning everywhere where there's sand, of course you're gonna have glass. It's gonna vitrify the sand. Let's see. Alicia says, for your info, Tiffany's stained glass was made in Indiana. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I want to know what was so important, because now we got stuck in this whole glass thing. I need to paint another one, you guys. What was so important about this glass thing in Sicily? Because I remember when I was younger, I remember reading that if you couldn't escape, they paid them handsomely, but they kept them there in the island. And you couldn't escape the island because you would get sentenced to death if you tried to. Something about glass workers. So now I'm intrigued. Now I want to know. Was it blown glass? Maybe it was some type of glass. Maybe it was blown glass. I don't know. You guys help me out, man. Was made by Tiffany in Indiana, but I think there was stained glass already. No, Tiffany. I mean Tiffany, Alicia. Sorry about Tiffany. I think there was stained glass made already. No, that's, I mean, all throughout the medieval, not medieval, but the Renaissance churches and all of that. No, I think they had, or was it not stained? Was it just glass? Because I want to say that they had stained glass. I know in Mexico, in the churches, everything like had a bunch of stained glass, and so a lot of the ideas that I get about painting come from stained glass. They come from two areas: stained glass and woodcuts. So a lot of the stuff that I paint takes me back there. This is why the style that I use is kind of patchy and there's very sharp angles. It takes me back to when I was a kid, and I used to watch the stained glass and lots of woodcut in Guadalajara. Woodcut and lots of glass. I'll Google it. Cool. Someone's Googling Venetian glass. Is that it? Is it Venetian? Jesus Christ, man. I don't know, you guys. Who knows? We got to move from that, because I feel like we're gonna stay in that subject. And then we're never gonna go past Salvator Mundi, which is what we're talking about. Salvator Mundi. Well, initially we were not talking about Salvatore Mundi. Initially we were talking about, yeah, it's not working. You want this fan? They came and turned it off. You can have the fan, Marcelo. No?
No, it's not that hot.
Okay. Initially I was talking about the art institutions and how difficult, right? I feel how difficult they are making it for artists who are not part of the elite institutions. Let's see, a lock and fine glass made in Murano Island to me, Murano glass. Okay, so that's one. So yeah, anyways, something about that, right? And then we moved on to Salvatore Mundi, or Savior of the World, right? Salvatore Mundi. That painting by Da Vinci, supposedly by Da Vinci. I hope I don't get in trouble. I hope nobody gets upset with me, like in trouble in sense of like getting upset with me for talking about this, because I know a good deal of the population, of the artistic population, believes that it is a Leonardo painting. I know a good deal of people believe it is a Leonardo painting, and I don't wanna ruffle anyone's feathers. If people believe it is, then good. I'm just holding my opinion that I don't think it is. I think it's another one of those art scams that have been going on and been perpetuated for a long time, and when people talk about the art market, I often hear this. The art market is this thing, but it makes it seem so big. Even when we say the words like the art world. You know what I found out? That Walmart makes I think the art world makes about 40 billion a year. I think it's 40 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 40 billion? I think it is. Anyways, somebody break the news for me, please. I think the art world makes about 40 billion a year. Walmart makes that in something like 45 days. I'm not joking. I don't know if it's 40 billion or 10 billion, but it might be 10 billion in 40 days. But 10 billion for the art world, for the art market. It's a very small market. It's a very, very small market. Yeah. So, if you think about it, it's a very small market because those of you who have any influence in that, any museum like the Guggenheim only exhibits artists from 5 different galleries. The same galleries, by the way. This has been a complaint. This has been a complaint. People have put in complaints for a long time, but they don't care, right? Because I don't know if it's privately funded or I don't know how it's funded, but they don't care. And so if you're an artist, you have no chance. The only chance you have is to do your own thing. I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this for a very long time. Because the art world is full of gatekeepers. Everyone's keeping a gate. Based on who you know, who knows you, favors in the market, whatever favors mean, I don't know. And for example, if you want to be an artist, the pretty much the only chance you have is to get a gallery to fish you out of one of the art schools. It has to be one of the main art schools too. And because when people talk about galleries, we usually think about mom and pop galleries. That's not; those are not the galleries of the art world. Mom and pop galleries. I mean, you'd probably be better off on Etsy if you're gonna go to mom and pop galleries, unless you have a sweet deal somewhere. Look at that. And so I'm talking about the shiny stuff, the shiny galleries, the artists that they're selling their work for, 50K, 300K, that type of stuff, right? That they're selling their work and then they make mini stars out of them, like superstars in the art world. It's such a small world. It's like a little microcosm of the reality of the rest of us. And so I consider that to be. I'm not gonna go into whether it's fair or not. I'm just gonna go into the fact that it's not for everybody. I'm not gonna say it's fair or not. The world has an interesting way of placing value on certain things. The world places value on certain things, and it's just the way the world is. Kind of like why teachers don't get paid almost anything, right? But entertainers get paid handsomely. It's just the way the world is. We could have a conversation about fairness, but yeah, of course, at face value, of course it is unfair. But that's unfortunately that's how the world works, right? It places more value on an influencer or an entertainer than on a school teacher. The same way happens with artists, and so it just is. Let's see. There aren't many. There are brokers. There are art brokers who buy, sell, curate for clients. Yeah, I've heard about that. There are plenty of those. Retail galleries that had value are not more than 20 in any big city. Yeah. It's just the way it is. And so when artists are like, man, I'm gonna go into the gallery, I mean, you're talking about, and when we say small, we don't mean like small as in like 10 artists. It could be 100,000 artists that are all fighting for the same spot that is only going to be given to 1,000 of them. And so I'm not saying this to deflate anyone's dreams. Of course not. This I think if you really want it, you can go and find something that works for you. But early on in my career, I was like, dude, I can't chase that. I just can't. I can't chase that. I can't continue to chase that. I don't see it going anywhere. And I don't know if it was maybe because I gave up on that end, or because I didn't see. I knew in my heart of hearts that I was not gonna make it through that valley. And so I chose a different route. And the route I chose was not, there was nothing easy about that route either, which was the self-employed artist, right? The artist who makes things happen on their own, who goes and sells stuff on eBay, on Etsy, on Instagram. That was a whole other deal too. There was nothing easy about that one either. Now looking back, I'm like, dang it, man! I should have taken the other path. A few key buyers run around networking. They are not who you expect. They're usually very humble but interested. Oh, I love that. I will say that I've had the opportunity to sell artwork to a couple of galleries via their curators, and I will say I've had a couple of opportunities like that. I will say they caught me off guard. I never thought for a single second that they were going to buy that much art, and they were gonna pay that much. I never thought about it. It was a learning experience and a humbling one too. Learning and humbling. But then again, right? I wasn't selling stuff for like tens of thousands or anything like that. But I did have the opportunity to sell. I sold my entire inventory twice, just to put it. When I say my inventory, I'm talking about hundreds of paintings. Okay, I sold my entire inventory twice, sold out, completely, nothing left. That happened to me twice, from artists. Yeah, nerdy. Yeah, very nerdy. Yeah. Yeah, and the first time, I was like, no way. It was surreal the first time. I remember I sat there and I was like, I made it. Of course not, right? But in my mind, I thought I did. The first time it happened, this happened a few years back. And then I sold my entire inventory again. Someone came into my studio and bought the whole damn thing. And it was a really cool experience. I've never had that experience. If someone just walks in and writes me a check, you know, or to put it in those words, right? It wasn't write me a check. It was more like deposit money in my bank account. But I never had that experience happen to me. So it was eye opening. I was like, so there are rich folks out there. I was so confused. Yeah. Yeah, not the sleek salespeople at all. That's not who I met. I met nerdy people who were in love with art, who just had a passion for art. Those are the two times it's happened to me. It's been that. The two times it's happened to me, it's been women, which was surprising. I thought it was a male-dominated world, which I'm sure it is, but it happened. It was two ladies. Both times was a lady, right? And it was an experience that I was like, it made me reconsider everything, because I used to think that there was nothing out there for me. Like I was gonna keep on just doing the same thing, being an online hack, as I was called. I was called an online hack. I was called an eBay hack, and I was like, dude, there's nothing for me out there other than this. And all of a sudden, I started getting some deals, some very cool deals, from people who just started finding about what I was doing. Although a lot of people out there, a lot of people are regurgitating what other people are saying. Because some collectors don't like the fact that they don't like artists who are industrious, and some do, but many don't. Many don't like prolific or industrious artists, and the idea is I understand. Artists like me who create artwork on a daily basis are considered. For many are considered commercial artists, and that we don't go deep into our work, that we don't really produce deep work. And so that's the idea that they're selling us, which is not true. It is estimated that Picasso created 5 large paintings a day during his prime. Okay, 3 to 5 foot paintings daily. It is estimated during his prime. And so I don't know if what I think that happens is that, like anything, like any other industry, they need to control, or they have they have that feeling that they need to control quantity, because that's how you control scarcity. If you have scarcity, your prices, you can demand a higher price, assuming you have the buyers, right? So scarcity doesn't work for you and I if we don't have buyers. If you're an artist who does not have buyers, or you have maybe, I don't know, 2,000 followers on Instagram, or 200,000 followers on Instagram, it doesn't matter. You could have 2 million of them and scarcity would still not apply to you. And the reason why is because you have to be very, 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 very well known and very like juicy to a very small group of people with deep pockets in order for scarcity to matter. And so for those people, scarcity matters, just like diamonds, right? There's lots of diamonds in the world, but they control the scarcity. They say no. All the diamond companies got together and said no. And that's when they started also doing all kinds of horrible things in Africa. But I'm not going to go into that. They started controlling the whole diamond industry, right? The scarcity. They're like, no, there's too many out there. So they basically formed a coalition. I don't know if it was a coalition, but basically. And so they put a cap on how many diamonds are out there of a certain type, and on and on and on. And so when you put a ceiling on how much you can produce, then the price can go up, right? The price can go up, but it only works. It only works if that thing is desirable. You know, if it's desirable. You could put a scarcity on a piece of rock. It means nothing, right? There's only this one rock. Yeah, there's many rocks, but there's only this one, right? No other rock has the exact same shape. There's only this rock. You can put scarcity there, right? Uniqueness and scarcity, it means nothing. This is why a lot of artists try to put scarcity and uniqueness in their work. Yeah, but nobody wants it. Nobody wants it because it's not famous, because it's not desirable. It doesn't matter that it's scarce. And so that's that. Let's see. Because of the thousands of work, this is not a problem. That's exactly what I've been saying. Because it is estimated, it is in the Guinness World Book of Records that Picasso created over 140,000 art pieces. Now, 140,000 art pieces means so many different things. So I don't know if serigraphs and lithographs, or I don't think lithographs, maybe monotypes, different types of works are in there that he kind of squeezed with his hands. Maybe, I don't know, but he did create a shitload of paintings and a shitload of artwork, and so that was never a problem. It only became a problem when galleries wanted to squeeze the neck of that product. When galleries start squeezing the neck of that product, you start hearing people talk about scarcity. Oh, I love that. Melody says, as a woman and an art lover, I can say that art is very emotional, like music. You either connect with the artist and her work, or you don't. Oh, I love that. Riva says, I'm following hundreds of artists and we are all prolific and about half are female. I've been noticing that too. I've been noticing that. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, scarcity is a marketing thing. Because it creates urgency, right? If you have scarcity, you have urgency. But it only matters if people want it, right? If people don't want it, it doesn't matter. So, for example, water is not scarce, right? Well, I mean, it is. I shouldn't say that. It is. But it's not in the sense of drinking water I'm talking about. But where will water be scarce? Well, you know, the typical logic of a marketing message. In your city, maybe you have clean water. I don't know. In your city, it might not be scarce, but in a desert somewhere it will be, or in an island where you don't have the clean resource of water or whatever. It's going to come down to that, right? But it's only if it's desirable. If water was not something that human beings really cared about, clean water, if we could live off of salt water without, distilling it and cleaning it and all of that, then we wouldn't really think it was all that, scarce. Kind of like air. No one's going around saying, "Oh my God, air is scarce." Although we do talk about climate and we do want to take care of this, but no one's going out there saying you're breathing more than your fair share, right? Or maybe, I don't know if there's people saying stuff like that, but I don't think anyone's going out there and saying you're breathing more than your fair share, because it's not scarce. Now, do we want it clean? Yeah, we do want it clean. Do we make efforts to keep it clean and the atmosphere and everything? Well, I think we should do more effort. But aside from that, no one's going around saying there's scarcity of breathing air, or there's scarcity of water in any developed country. Let's put it that way. Or there's a scarcity of, I don't know, laugh. Imagine if laughter was scarce. Imagine how much you would get paid to laugh if laughter was scarce, like people couldn't laugh. Stuff like that. I don't know. But art is one of those things that it's like, it would be unique if you were the only one doing it. But its uniqueness kind of goes away when everybody's doing it, right? So you say, "I'm an artist." Well, I'm an artist too. Well, no, I'm a better artist. Well, prove it. What does that mean? And then we get into all sorts of things. Riva says, "I think Instagram has given us so much exposure to other artists that we need to try it all." Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Alicia. Let's see, because of the sheer amount of exposure to beautiful work every day, we must be prolific. That's what we paint to find beauty. Absolutely. And so I going back to that point, right? I do believe that that artists are more prolific, and it is not a problem. It is a fabricated problem. And so a lot of people out there, gallerists and whatnot, curators, art buyers, are saying, "Oh, I don't vibe with that." And what they're really saying is, "I don't know how to sell it. I don't know how to sell it." A lot of people out there are buying into that mentality. They're buying into that mentality. For example, I paint small paintings like this, right? You guys see me do smaller paintings like this. This is a 12 by 12 inches. I'll go and I'll put it on eBay, and then I start the auction at $1, and I let it run as an auction. And I do that several times a day. And then when galleries find me, either through eBay or Instagram or whatever marketing efforts I'm doing, they say, "Jose, I'd love to carry your work, but can you please not put it on eBay?" And I say, "Why?" "Because you paint so much, and you're going to bring the value down if I sell it in my gallery." And then I say to them, "But why would that matter?" And they say, "No, you don't understand." No. And I'm like, no, I do understand. Okay, I do understand. I also understand a little bit about marketing. I always respond, what we need to do is we need to create a different value proposition. Instead of you trying to sell those little paintings in your gallery, why don't I just make larger paintings for you in your gallery? This is how we always fix that problem. I always talk to them. This is how we fix it. Some of them are okay. Many are not with that. But I'm like, we have to change the value proposition, because I cannot stop doing something that's working for me in a platform. I cannot stop doing that so that I can go and test my luck somewhere else. Instead of doing that, why don't I keep doing this that's working for me, and then bring something that is higher in value to your platform? Why don't we put a a painting that is 10 times the size of this 12 by 12 in your gallery, and we slap a frame that's at least $2,000. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do something completely different? Instead of, you see this painting right here, it's a small still life. Why don't we do a full scene, an interior scene, or maybe someone trying to a figurative painting, right? Full on figurative painting. With figures in there, someone trying to take an orange, and my whole story in the painting, right? Why don't we bring up the value instead of you knocking it down so that you can go put it somewhere else. Let's see. I also began painting very small and learning so much more this way. Yeah, that is excellent. Oh, thank you so much. Can you put all 140,000 pieces of Picassos on the market and they would all... Yeah, absolutely. Because what the galleries want to do is they want to have scarcity. And big galleries, art collectors, they all want to have scarcity. And this is not basketball, but they want to turn it into basketball. This is not basketball where only a handful of people get to play the game professionally. Many of us can play this game professionally. Do not let them make you feel like you have to be LeBron James or some other big athlete, in order to play the game. So galleries try to do that. They say, oh, there's a handful of people who are actually playing the game. No, there's a handful of people that are playing the game at that level, but this is not basketball. Many of us can play the game. Well, we're not fetching those prices. We're still playing professionally. We do not have to be part of the big leagues only. We can actually do it from home. We can actually do it. That's how many artists have done it throughout history. I have a friend who couldn't get her work into a gallery, so she opened her own. Take control of the narrative. Absolutely, 100% with that. Yeah, 100%. Take control of the narrative, and you decide. You decide what's going to happen with your career. What I've been hearing from a lot of gallerists out there is, we need to go help artists. No, we don't need people to save us. They have this idea that we're waiting to be rescued. I'm not waiting for a gallery to come and pick me up, right? Am I going to reject it? Probably not, but I ain't waiting for it either. I'm the type of person that's swimming while waiting for the boat, right? My waiting is swimming. That's my type of waiting. And so a lot of them out there think that we're crossing our arms waiting to be picked. And this is what happens when it's a permission-based society. We live in a permission-based society still, even though we have so many resources such as internet. We do not live in a pick-me society. If you are an author, you don't have to wait to be picked by a publisher. You can start writing your book, and you can publish it yourself or not publish it, or publish it if you want to, and you don't have to take it to you don't have to get it printed. You can leave that cost to your reader. If the reader wants to print it, they can go to Blurb or whatever, any of those places. But you can have it in a PDF format or whatever. You don't have to wait. If the book is any good, someone's going to read it, and if it's really good, more people are going to hear about it. And so, take control. Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree with Riva. Take control of the narrative. You are in control today. And so, with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Let me show you what I did. Let me move this phone that way you guys can see. Here we go. Boom. There it is. Little bowl fruit. And this is my studio, guys. I'm here in a studio. I only make a few paintings every now and then, whenever I can. Say hello to my friend Marcel. Marcel's over there packaging artwork. So yeah, this is my studio. See, there's my toilet right there. I will. All right, my friends. Well, take care. Take care, everybody. Keep doing your thing. I will save this live, and much love and appreciation to everyone. And keep doing your thing. You know, keep working, and move forward, whatever that is. All right, everybody. Take care. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.